And here we are, ready for the next NSL Live Talk. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is Saturday, sometime in August. Well, I do know it's the last day of the competition. It was the last day of the competition in Siberia, Tanai. And I am welcoming three members of the four-way women team, NFTO from United Kingdom. Thank you so much. On the top left, Sean Stokes. Hello, hello.
Hello.
On the bottom left, that's Jules Swallow. Hi.
Hiya.
And then Anna Hicks on the bottom. We're missing Vanna. So what's going on with Vanna? Somebody can explain that. We're missing her.
Oh, she's just got looking after her children at the moment, so she's just having a slight hiccup, but she says hello. She sends all her best.
Thank you, and hello back to Vanna. You can watch that later then. Well, thank you very much for taking the time, and I'm sure you have some sleepless nights behind you too. I'm sure you followed the event over there with a broken heart. Drama in all kind of ways, and you are actually a part of the drama without even being there. So give us in a nutshell what actually happened. Why have you been in Great Britain and not in Siberia at this?
Well, I mean, basically, unfortunately, because it's all basic COVID restrictions, nothing political, but COVID restrictions. But our federation, British Skydiving Association, could not find a way to get us around the 14-day quarantine on the way in to Russia, because we're on the UK's on the dirty list. So it's a shame that we weren't able to. They couldn't find a way to let us get in. We would have loved to have gone even just as an independent team without the NAC. Or the NGB, the governing body, but we had teams. The way it works, where the IPC is, you have to be going underneath your NAC, underneath your governing body. So we couldn't go as an independent team, unfortunately. So we had to stay, which is a real shame. We were watching it go. We didn't want to be there.
So you were really considering going by yourself anyway, in case.
If we were allowed, if we would have happily have gone if we were allowed to go without a head of the delegation or without British Skydiving, but unfortunately, it's got to be all on land. Basically, that's the way it works with the IPC.
Yeah, and now we have it's over now. Looking back, 6 rounds, is it 6 or 7? 6 rounds, right?
Yeah, 6.
The whole effort for 6 rounds and all that. Do you feel like you still have a broken heart because you were, well, let's talk about the athletic part. I mean, the team won very unexpectedly, not the French team, right? So what do you see? What do you think when you see that now? We have a new world champion in four-way women, and it's neither NFTO nor the French team. It's Russia. Anybody surprised?
Yeah, I think
yes, congratulations to Russia. I think they did amazing. Watching their videos, they look incredible. For sure, we're disappointed that we couldn't be there, but that was out of our control. So I think we're training next week. So we're going to do the rounds and see what we can do ourselves. That's where we're at right now.
Please send the videos. I was planning to do a kind of an aftermath with all the teams that couldn't go anyway. So I will encourage them to do exactly that. Now do the competition rounds, send them to me, and I'm going to create a leaderboard, and kind of special leaderboard for that, because I didn't want to do it during the competition because it would be kind of rude, to run an online thing while the real event is happening. But now afterwards, everybody's doing it anyway. So we can put it up. I think it would be very interesting. Okay.
It would be great to see the teams that were there finish the meet as well. So if we all did the 10 rounds, if they got back to their home drop zones and completed it and submitted that into you, I'm sure they would like to finish the meet as well. They travelled a long way. Personally, I think every team that arrived at that that drop zone deserve a medal. For this year has been, well, the toughest year or 2 years I've known in skydiving history. So for the teams that managed to get there and the support that they would have had behind them, congratulations, you're medal winners to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a tough year for us, and it was the year before, but this year's been slightly tougher because we have tried to train. I've still been in a different country, so we've still had restrictions. So NFTO have been training in the UK without me some of the time, but we've always had the plan to go to the World Championships. We agreed at the beginning of this year, do we want to do it? And we all straight away said yes, come hell or high water, we will be there. Unfortunately, the decision got taken away from us, but we have been training with the mindset of, you know, going to the World Championships and achieving the best we can achieve. So the year's not finished for us. We've got the British Nationals now to focus on. So at least all of that training hasn't been lost. We've got training next week, so we fight on.
Yeah, and then there's a world meet next year anyway. Again, you know, I don't want to ask that question now. I guess you will have to rethink everything after the nationals, but it's coming a lot quicker than usually. Now that's kind of a good thing for the teams who couldn't go to Russia now. It's only a year this time, you know, out of the ordinary. So who knows, maybe there's a new opportunity. We'll talk about that after the UK Nationals, or what are you going to talk about that?
We're going to talk about it in the future.
You're very political, Shani.
Let's say we're not going to talk about it today.
We'll talk about it in an hour.
Okay, so let's look at the leaderboard in Russia and the jumps and all of that. I mean, the Russian team isn't really new to anybody. I mean, especially you knew it's a strong team because you met them, I think, exactly the same lineup at the European Indoor Championship, right?
Yes. We had a tight battle with them then for almost a jump off, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was a jump off. Yeah, it was an extra round.
Yeah.
You tied the extra round again, and then you won by other tie-breaking rules. So not really such a big surprise. The thoughts which are in your head probably right now, I would guess, you can tell me what you're really thinking, but I would guess like, gosh, you know, we beat the Russian team twice and they beat the French team now. So it's pretty obvious that we could have won the gold medals now. Is that kind of what's going on in your head? So,
I mean, both the teams look very snappy, and you look at the footage, they look very, very snappy. They've obviously done some training, so I guess it would be nice to be competing with them, but they both look very, very snappy and very good. But you always have this doubt in your mind, like, oh, what could have it been? But you got to just roll with the punches and see where life takes you, really.
I think this year especially has thrown everything up in the air, because normally you kind of know what your training plan's going to be, what other teams' training plans are going to be, and you kind of know what you need in order to achieve your goals. But this year it's been more, okay, we're not going to do the training that we want. We just need to just try and get together as much as possible and make the most of the time we are together. And I guess a lot of the teams have been like that, which has then given other teams opportunities maybe that they may not have had in previous years. This is kind of what made this World Meet particularly exciting, really. It opened it up for other teams. And whether the French couldn't train as much, or whether they thought it was in the bag, or, you know, who knows. But I mean, you've never got it and you've never lost it. So if nothing else, it's a huge learning curve for teams.
Do you think they thought they had it in the bag? I mean, that's kind of was part of the plan, I guess, somehow, right? I mean, winning, they were planning to win both events, 4-way, 8-way. Was it?
I mean, that was their aim, wasn't it? They didn't deny that was their aim. So
it's always easier, I think, being the underdog going into a competition. It's hard, you know, when you're the winners and you come in, reigning world champions, the underdogs, I think, have got the upper hand with that. So who knows what they were thinking, but they know who they are and what they're capable of. And sometimes that adds pressure as well. You know, maybe they've walked away from here thinking, well, maybe we didn't perform at our best because of additional pressures. You know, maybe they got into round one and it wasn't quite how they expected it to be, and things changed after that. Who knows? But yeah, they've probably had a tough week.
Yeah, and it was tough in 8-way too. I mean, at one point it must be kind of devastating now. You know, they didn't win 4-way, didn't win 8-way. That's probably a sad situation now in the French headquarters there. You watched the videos, I'm sure, all of them. They also had some logistical disadvantage, let's say, right? I mean, if you look at the videos of the jumps, each of them, let's look at one of this. Let's see if I can get this. They could not launch the exits all like the Russians did, because they weren't trained enough for that. And let's just pick any of those rounds here, and you will know. You've studied this. They are always giving up 1 point out the door, you know, with their Mika exit. I mean, each round was a Mika first, and then on a like this one, the block, you know, block 17. Let's go back and look at other ones. If you go to block,
we're still on the BFS scoreboard at the moment.
I'm back to okay. Do you see this now? The video?
No.
Got BFS sport scoreboard.
Okay. Well, I don't know why that is. Let's see if it shouldn't show. I hope that the audience is seeing it, but then let's just go back. If you can see it, we can. It's difficult to talk about it. Obviously,
it's a shame and shock to see between third and fourth as well. Obviously, the rounds, whatever the round was, that with the Americans getting a 0 and then a score and then a 0 again. That must have been a bit of a heart wrench for all involved as well.
Yeah, that's the other drama. You know, there's a lot. Unbelievable. You know, that whole story. I don't know if you're familiar with that story. What was going on?
No, we don't know.
Well, the video guy Corey, he lost his conscience on the exit and fell off basically. So there was a video, but you couldn't see anything. And then when he came to his conscience again, like 6-7 seconds, whatever, after the exit, he pulled. So there was no video, obviously. And then they got a re-jump. And the re-jump was I had this actually on the link for a little while. Yeah. And they got a 16 on the re-jump, and then it was removed again because the Polish team protested the re-jump. They thought by the rules there was no reason for a re-jump, and then there was some administrative trouble. So anyhow, they got a 0 for it for that reason. You know, no video first, re-jump, then the re-jump was taken back, no score.
God, that would have been a right roller coaster if you were that team. Either of those teams, that would have been crazy.
Yeah. So anyhow, the French team, you know, with the Mika on each exit 6, that alone is like almost 6. You know what a difference it makes whether you pull and then the Russian team. And the Russian team, I don't know if you saw it in one of the interviews, they said they had 160 jumps, and they said that wasn't really much. I couldn't train much, but it was probably 3 times as much as the French team.
And I presume out of the competition aircraft. So yeah, it's worked well for them.
I think it's very risky at that level to launch one exit. You know, it's not ideal, really. I get why they would want to do it, but most teams can launch a lot of exits well.
I guess they got away with it though at the World Cup in Eloy. So it's one of those, if you can get away with it and transition quick, then it gives you a bit of confidence. But
there's only so far you're going to be able to take that, you know, in terms of your average, and if other teams are up there. And the Turbolet's a nice slipstream to work from. So, you know, you want to be launching.
You like that, don't you, Jules?
I do.
Yeah, I haven't done enough out of it to sort of remember it. Yeah. you like it.
It's a great door to launch four-way from.
Had you trained? Did you train from there?
A lot from it, yeah. Well, back in 2010 at the Russian World Meet, so Satori did 500 jumps out the Turbolet. So yeah, we did a lot of training out of the Turbolet.
That was the Satori XL Satori in 2010. So what a memory also, if you're thinking back of Russia in 2010, where everything was burning.
Yeah.
Now here we are dealing with the virus, the weather and everything. Interesting. So you have a call. So what's the difference? I mean, is there any difference between the exit from the lead and the twin order, or you're jumping caravans in England now, right?
We're mainly jumping out the Dorniers at Skydive Spain, Algarve, and Skydive Hibblestone. It's mainly the Dorniers, and the nationals will be out of the Dorniers. There's also the caravans here as well, but the Dorniers are significantly slower than the Turbolet, so it's harder to get that. It's nicer standing in the door in a way because it's slower, but the slipstream is very soft, so it's actually quite hard. It's harder to get working on the slipstream. Whereas when I went from I'd done a lot of training at the Dornier, then switched to the Turbolet. It felt like we were on fast forward. It was like, wow, it's so much faster. So yeah, it's taller. I think some people are put off by that, and it is faster, so people are put off by that. But if you learn to like it will work in your favor. So yeah, it's a shame they didn't take that risk and launch more exits, really.
Yeah,
maybe that's a mental thing.
So how would you, I mean, the decision came pretty late by British Skydiving to cancel the event. So until then, you hadn't had any training from that by then. So you would have done that all basically at the very end. If you say it's such a...
We had planned to train, but we couldn't get to the countries where the Turbolets were in. So we ended up training. Pardon?
Our training program was changing daily. So whether we could train, whether we could all be together, the countries, we did have a decent training plan, and that was just all changed.
So in the end, we've been training at Skydive Hibblestone since May, because that's been the only country that we can get to and train at, and it's a good drop zone to train at. So yeah, the Turbolet got kind of thrown out the window, really.
Wow, so you would have been in a similar situation, switching from the Dornier to a Turbolet, which would have been a dramatic change. You know,
so our plan was to go a bit earlier to get those extra jumps in to train, and as well, it's important for the cameraman as well. I think it's probably harder for the cameraman than it is for the team to switch.
Sai is very aware and alert there, but but as a result, he's aware that he really wanted to train out of it, doesn't he? He's like, can we get some let please? Can we get some let please? Which I don't blame him. It's pretty darn challenging for him.
Sean, we cut you off a few times here. Sorry, you had something in your mind. Okay, never mind. I know you tried to say something, and we didn't get you with that. So that would have been a major. So what was your plan? Where would you have trained? Just earlier in in Tanai? Go early enough to get enough jumps in there?
Originally, Prostyov, we had a couple of weeks planned there earlier on in the year, but we weren't able to travel. So then we extended our time in Tanai instead. So we were going to go out a couple of weeks early and do all of our training out there, let training, but then obviously that was cancelled. So that got changed.
Okay, so we will go back to the Mondial once you have your training jumps. And, you know, I think it's a great idea that you brought up to even complete for the teams who want to, completing the ones in Tanai, and then invite the other teams to do that. So we'll revisit this at some point. Now the British Nationals are coming up first for you, and that is only a few weeks away.
Yeah, starts 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks time. I mean, round 10 might be all done. Yeah, it starts on Friday in like 13 days time. It starts on the Friday.
So you must be very eager now to go out and show, here's NFTO, and this is what we can do. I'm sure it must be exciting. How much training have you eventually put together?
So
outdoor training.
Outdoor training, well, we've done, I was looking at my logbook, we've done about 100 this year, pretty much 100 this year so far, I think. And then we've got some, just shy, yeah, maybe 80, 90 actually. And then we've got next week and the week after, and off we go. see how it goes. So yeah, Jules is back. We've got Jules back in the country now, which is great. So we've just done a bit of tunnel. I'm working hard with Viggs in the tunnel, and then we'll see what the weather deals with us next week in Hibblesday.
Where were you, Jules?
Well, I've been coming backwards and forwards. So I'm based in Portugal, but then I've been coming back we've had a few 5-day camps, and this time I've come back and I'm staying here until the end of the Nationals now.
Sean, you're spending a lot of time in Portugal too, don't you? Isn't it that between the two of you, half of the team is in Portugal?
That was always the plan. The plan was to spend half the time in Portugal, half the time in the UK. But since COVID hit, I've been in the UK.
Okay. Yeah. That thing. So we're at the Nationals. We're going to see a little battle, the usual battle for the top spot between the girls and the boys. The 6 girls between NFTO and Chimera, and the 2 boys, Chimera boys. And then Joey has his team back together here.
Don't forget the camera boys.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, boys. Girl power in England again. So Joey is coming back with his team too, right? Heroes, I hear.
Yeah, they've done a little bit of training here at Hibblesday. So I think they're happy. They haven't managed as much as most teams would like, but I think they're in a good place right now.
But Joey said last time I talked to him, he was in Texas, going back to, is he back in the UK now?
Yes, he's back here.
Okay.
So spent a few weeks there.
I'll talk to him. Let's see what he has to say. So that's coming up in 2 weeks. Okay. Great. So I guess very soon we'll speak again. And then hopefully we'll have Vanna with us too, the other mother. Jules, how is the family?
They're all good. They're the babysitter's the TV at the moment to give me 10 minutes on this, but yeah, they're good. They're happy to be here. They haven't been here for a long time, so.
So they grew up in Portugal, basically half-time.
Yeah.
Half-time.
They speak a lot of Portuguese. They speak more Portuguese than English at the moment, so they're confusing a few people they see.
Fantastic. That's good for growing up with 2 languages. More. Okay. Thank you very much for taking the time and for the update on the day when the medals were awarded. I just got a message from Russia that we're in the middle of the award ceremony. You know, they are
ready,
yeah, they are 6 hours ahead of you, I guess, and 11 hours ahead. 7. Yeah. So we had some night work there. but now it's all over and they have their medals, and we'll talk more about this for sure. But now forward to the nationals. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank
And
you very
then
much.
hopefully
Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt.